is John Marquardt going to come down here, or can he participate from up there? He should be there. Okay. No, I think we need to bring it back. I don't know if she's going to be on. Do you know if Brenda's going to be on?
She's not.
I don't think so.
She said he was on earlier.
Just about 2 minutes.
Yeah. And haven't heard from Mr. Farmer.
Okay.
So.
Let's wait for John's going to come in and we'll get started. We know when we're going.
Hey, John, do you know if Jim Farmer's sitting on the meeting?
I didn't hear that he wasn't, so
Okay, me neither.
All right, we'll give it a few more minutes just to see if we can get him and John Marquardt.
He's downstairs.
His memo just be to stay him on the record. Do we have Jim's on? Jim Farmer?
No, Margaret's still.
There we go.
Do you want Jim's? Do you want to try it? It's 440. Did he answer it? Was it him? Or- All right, sorry guys, let's see if we can get Jim Farmer started.
Gotta turn that light off. Yeah, it's better.
Tom's coming over.
Huh?
Tom's coming over.
Well, I'm just looking at the.
Never.
Logging in. All right. All right, we're just just waiting for Jim. He'll be on in a minute. So I do. Other things we'll do. All right. Jim's audio on?
You got everybody?
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Have everyone here, the applicant is going to be able to be here. Do that when we get on. Let's get started. With the roll call.
Dr. McGrath,
Is everyone unmuted? We can't hear.
I think we're having some sound issues coming from you folks.
here.
Peter.
All right, we got everyone now. All right, let's start the roll call.
Dr. McGrath,
Here.
Mr. Myers,
Here.
Mr. Farmer,
Here.
Mr. Gutierrez,
Here.
Mr. Klass,
Here.
Mr. Syracuse,
Here.
Mrs. Jurstack,
Here.
Mr. Coyne,
Here.
Mr. Markman,
Here.
Mr. Morelli.
Here.
This is a regular meeting of the Mayfield Village Planning and Zoning Commission. This meeting has been duly noticed and will be held in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code Section 1.22, specific to recent amendments made in light of the COVID-19 declared emergency, House Bill 197. Under the orders of Governor DeWine and the Director of Health of Ohio, the Planning and Zoning Commission will be meeting remotely via electronic means. The first item on our agenda tonight is consideration of the meeting March 2nd, 2020. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes as submitted.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. Can we have a roll call?
Dr. McGrath,
Yes.
Mr. Myers,
Yes.
Mr. Farmer,
Yes.
Mr. Gutierrez,
Yes.
Mr. Klass, Mr. Klass,
Yes.
Mr. Syracuse.
Yes. Okay, so the motion carries and the minutes will be approved as submitted. The only proposal before us tonight, we had a workshop meeting on this and we discussed this and tabled it at our last regular meeting. The proposal for the conditional use permit for Barcourt, the indoor dog park. The applicant, Brad Roskoff, CEO, 740 Beta Drive. We tabled that vote on March 2nd at our last regular meeting, and our secretary, Ms. Garbo, did receive correspondence via email from the applicant, Mr. Roskoff, saying that he and his wife were unable to attend due to some circumstances that came up, but they still want us to be able to proceed with the vote. And they said that they've supplied all the information requested of them in the past, and the material should be able to be referenced through the minutes to previous meetings. So we can proceed tonight. At our last meeting, what we had decided was to table this subject to determining what the law department would come up with as far as items that would be required, conditions that would be placed on this if it were to be granted. We also received, in the meantime, a memorandum from John Marquardt, our economic development manager, who's on this in this meeting as well, with his some of his thoughts on this and how these factors we are to consider, his opinion on those factors. So I don't know if we want to start with Mr. Coyne or Mr. Marquardt or Mr. Morelli. with anything that's additional since the last time.
I could start first. I was unaware that there hasn't been any additional information submitted by the applicant. So very, very recently, I reviewed Mr. Marquardt's report, and I also looked at notes. Mr. Morelli and I spoke, as well. I thought the applicant was going to get back with additional information concerning the flooring material, material specifications, because some of it had to be obviously cleaned. The gathering area outside, the drop-off zone, if you will. I think he was having 8 parking spaces set aside, flushing the dog waste, ratio of people to dogs. I believe he said he had a consultant that was going to submit something. I don't know if that's happened. And it does appear that it's also a daycare. So I guess there was an informal meeting with the applicant some time ago, and I was under the impression more information is going to be submitted. So that's all I have to report on.
Mr. Marquardt, do you want to make a few comments about the items you discussed in your memorandum?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I can. What I will say in response to the law director is that both building and myself have spoken with the applicant a few times since the last meeting. And the applicant has made very clear he does not wish to submit any new material. He has no changes to the previous submittals and wishes to proceed as is. Which is why and I believe that's spelled out in my memo as well, that we have no choice but to review and act upon what we already have.
Thank you. Mr. Morelli, do you have anything additional to add?
Really nothing to add. You know, we did have an informal meeting. We threw some questions at Mr. Roscoff, you know, about, you know, liability insurance. What if your dog bites another dog? What if your dog or somebody's dog bites a person? He didn't seem too alarmed about that. Apparently he's got liability insurance. And like Tony said, there was questions about bringing the dogs to the property, you know, amongst, you know, truck traffic, people crossing the parking lot with their dogs and whatnot. And, you know, was there safety issues? And he didn't really address that. He thought there wouldn't be any, and that the park would be open all day and you could either stay there with your dog or you could leave your dog and the handlers would take care of it. And he just seemed very positive about everything that he proposed in March. He thought was gonna be a home run, so he really didn't want to change anything.
Okay. And you know, I just want to remind the members of this commission that we did receive, prior to the last regular meeting back in February, we received a memorandum from the chief of police, as well as a memorandum from the assistant fire chief, and they, you know, the fire department and our fire chief, Garcia Polo, also made comments at our last meeting that are in our minutes with their concerns. Personally, I have some additional concerns with them not, you know, the applicant not providing any additional information that really would have helped us make the decision. The whole reason we tabled this was so that they could work with the law department and the building department and provide answers to our questions so that we can make an informed decision going forward. In fact, that's how we ended the last meeting, was me stating that we can make a much more informed decision if we have that. So we ended up tabling it for that purpose. If there's no additional information from the applicant and with the additional concerns regarding COVID-19 and the social distancing in this type of application, you know, I'd be ready to proceed with a vote unless any other members have any other questions or comments at this time. None? Okay, at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the conditional use permit or a motion to deny it.
I move that we deny it. He hasn't participated. He's not cooperating to graduate, as it were. That's my motion, that we deny this request.
Okay, is there a second to that?
I will second that.
It's moved and seconded. So just so the members we're clear on this, if you vote yes, you're moving to deny it. So yes would mean no to the conditional use permit and vice versa. So at this time, can we have a roll call, please?
Dr. McGrath,
Yes.
Mr. Myers,
Yes.
Mr. Farmer,
Yes.
Mr. Ficaris,
Yes.
Mr. Kless,
Yes.
Mr. Syracuse.
Yes. So the conditional use permit is therefore denied. Is there any other business to discuss tonight, or does anyone have any other questions or comments before we have a motion to adjourn?
I think Paul Ficaris looks like a disc jockey with his headphones on.
And in black and white.
And in black and white.
I can't figure that one out.
I thought he worked at the Arby's drive-through. He's taking orders.
Somebody said that. Somebody said that'll be part of my future. Would you like fries with that?
Well, I hope everyone stays safe and healthy and gets through this, and hopefully we'll be able to meet again in person soon. But at this time, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
You know, we have a workshop coming up in a couple of weeks.
That's true.
Are we going to get together for that, or is it going to be by?
I got a feeling we're going to be looking at Ficaris in his black and white headphones again.
Oh, goodness. Oh,
Yeah, that's on the 16th, I believe.
Yep. That's the old school building, and Montebello needs to shift a couple of property lines on a corner.
Okay, so next Thursday, the 16th at 6 o'clock, and hopefully we'll be able to meet via Zoom
Yep.
again. It'd be nice when we're back in person, but
Yeah, hopefully you'll get information like on the 13th when Debbie Garbo comes back. We should have all our ducks in a row, and she'll be firing off everything electronically, so you'll have it.
okay, thanks, John.
Okay, sure.
All right, did we have a motion to adjourn?
No, but I moved to adjourn.
Okay, all
Second.
right, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded, all right, can we have a roll call?
Dr. McGrath,
Yes.
Mr. Myers,
Yes.
Mr. Farmer,
Yes.
Mr. Ficaris,
Yes.
Mr. Kless,
yes.
Mr. Syracuse.
Yes. All right, everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.